We're back with Chapter 7 of The Sword in the Stone. The fight, or the joust that Merlin has taken the wart to watch between King Pellinore and Sir Grummer Grummerson continues. "Well," said the wart, "what a bump! They both seem to be all right so far." Sir Grummore and King Pellinore laboriously got up. "Defend thee!" cried King Pellinore. "God save thee!" cried Sir Grummore. With this they drew their swords and rushed together with such ferocity that each, after dealing the other a dint on the helm, sat down suddenly backwards. "Bah!" said King Pellinore. "Boo!" cried Sir Grummore, also sitting down. "Mercy!" exclaimed the ward. "What a combat!" The knights had now lost their tempers, and the battle was joined in earnest. It did not matter much, however, for they were so encased in metal that they could do each other little damage. It took them so long to get up, and the dealing of a blow when you weighed the 1/8 part of a ton was such a cumbrous business, that each stage of the contest could be marked and pondered. In the first stage, King Pellinore and Sir Grummer stood opposite each other for about half an hour and walloped each other on the helm. There was only opportunity for one blow at a time, and so they more or less took it in turns, King Pellinore striking while Sir Grummer was recovering, and vice versa. At first, if either of them dropped his sword or got it stuck in the ground, the other put in 2 or 3 extra blows while he was patiently fumbling for it or trying to tug it out. Later, they fell into the rhythm of the thing more perfectly, like the toy mechanical people who saw wood on Christmas trees. Eventually, the exercise and the monetary restored their good humor, and they began to get bored. The second stage was introduced as a change by common consent. Sir Grummore stumped off to one end of the clearing, while King Pellinore plodded off to the other. Then they turned round and swayed backwards and forwards once or twice in order to get their weight on their toes. When they leaned forward, they had to run forward in order to keep up with their weight, and if they leaned too far backward, they fell down. So even walking was a bit complicated. When they had got their weight properly distributed in front of them, so that they were just off their balance, each broke into a trot to keep up with himself. They hurtled together as it had been two boars. They met in the middle, breast to breast, with the noise of a shipwreck and great bells tolling, and both, bouncing off, fell breathless on their backs. They lay thus for a few minutes panting. Then they slowly began to heave themselves to their feet, and it was obvious that they had lost their temper once again. King Pellinore had not only lost his temper, but seemed to have been a bit astonied by the impact. He got up, facing the wrong way, and could not find Sir Grummore. There was some excuse for this, since he had only a tiny slit to peep through, and that was thrice inches away from his eye, owing to the padding of straw. But he looked a bit muddled as well. Perhaps he had broken his spectacles. Sir Grummore was quick to seize the advantage. "Take that!" cried Sir Grummore, giving the unfortunate monarch a 2-handed swipe on the knob, as he was slowly turning his head from side to side, peering in the opposite direction. King Pellinore turned round morosely, but his opponent had been too quick for him. He had ambled round so that he was still behind the king, and now gave him another terrific blow in the same place. "Where are you?" asked King Pellinore. "Here!" cried Sir Grummore, giving him another. The poor king turned himself round as nimbly as possible, but Sir Grummore had given him the slip again. "Tally-ho back!" shouted Sir Grummore with another wallop. "I think you're a cad," said the king. "Wallop!" replied Sir Grummore, doing it. What with the preliminary crash, the repeated blows on the back of his head, and the puzzlingly invisible nature of his opponent, King Pellinore could now be seen to be visibly troubled in his brains. He swayed backward and forward under the hail of blows which were administered, and feebly waggled his arms. "Poor king," said the ward. "I wish he wouldn't hit him so." As if in answer to his wish, Sir Grummore paused in his labours. "Do you want packs?" asked Sir Grummore. King Pellinore made no answer. Sir Grummore favoured him with another whack and said, "If you don't say packs, I shall cut your head off." I won't, said the king. Whang with the sword on top of his head. Whang it went again. Whang for the third time. Pax, said King Pellinore, mumbling rather. Then, just as Sir Grummore was relaxing with the fruits of victory, he swung around upon him and shouted, "Non!" at the top of his voice and gave him a good push in the middle of his chest. Sir Grummore fell over backwards. "Well," exclaimed the wart, "what a cheat! I wouldn't have thought it of him." King Pellinore hurriedly sat down on his victim's chest, thus increasing the weight upon him to 1/4 of a ton, and making it quite impossible for him to move, and began to undo Sir Grummore's helm. "You said Pax!" "I said Pax non, under my breath." "It's a swindle." "It isn't, so nuts to you." "You cad!" "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "I said Pax non." "You said Pax." "No, I didn't." "Yes, you did." "No, I didn't." "Yes, you did." By this time, Sir Grummore's helm was unlaced, and they could see his bare head glaring at King Pellinore, quite purple in the face. "Yield thee, recant," said the king. "Shan't," said Sir Grummore. "You've got to yield, or I shall cut off your head." "Cut it off, then." "Oh, come on," said the king. "You know you have to yield when your helm is off." "Fain I," said Sir Grummore. "Well, I shall just cut your head off." "I don't care." The king waved his sword menacingly in the air. "Go on," said Sir Grummore. "I dare you to." The king lowered his sword and said, "Oh, I say, do yield, please." "You yield," said Sir Grummore. "But I can't yield. You know I'm on top of you after all. Am I not, what?" "Well, I feigned yielding." "Oh, come on, Grummore. I do think you are a cad, and not to yield. You know very well I can cut your head off." "I wouldn't yield to a cheat who started fighting after he said Pax." "I'm not a cheat." "You are a cheat." "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "Very well," said King Pellinore. "You can very well get up and put on your helm, and we'll have a fight. I won't be called a cheat by anybody." "Cheat," said Sir Grummore. They stood up and fumbled together with the helm, hissing, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are," until it was safely on. Then they retreated to opposite ends of the clearing, got their weight upon their toes, and came rumbling and thundering together like two runaway trains. Unfortunately, they were now so cross that they had both ceased to be vigilant, and in the fury of the moment they missed each other altogether. The momentum of their armor was too great for them to stop till they had passed each other handsomely, and then they maneuvered about in such a manner that neither happened to come within the other's range of vision. It was a bit funny watching them, because King Pellinore, having already been caught from behind once, was continually spinning round to look behind him. Sorry, I lost my place. And Sir Grummore, having used the stratagem himself, was doing the same thing. Thus they wandered for some 5 minutes, standing still, listening, clanking, crouching, creeping, peering, walking on tiptoe, and occasionally making a chance swipe behind their backs. Once they were standing within a few feet of each other, back to back, only to stalk off in opposite directions with infinite precaution, and once King Pellinore did hit Sir Grummore with one of his back strokes, but they both immediately spun round so often that they became giddy and mislaid each other afresh. After 5 minutes, Sir Grummore said, "All right, Pellinore, it's no use hiding. I can see where you are." "I'm not hiding," exclaimed King Pellinore indignantly. "Where am I?" They discovered each other and went up close together, face to face. "Cad," said Sir Grummore. "Yah," said King Pellinore. They turned round and marched off to their corners, seething with indignation. "Swindler!" shouted Sir Grummore. "Beastly bully!" shouted King Pellinore. With this, they summoned all their energies together for one divisive encounter, leaned forward, lowered their heads like two billy goats, and positively sprinted together for the final blow. Alas, their aim was poor. They missed each other by about 5 yards, passed at full steam, doing at least 8 knots like ships that pass in the night but speak not to each other in passing, and hurtled onwards to their doom. Both knights began waving their arms like windmills anti-clockwise in a vain effort to slow up. Both continued with undiminished speed. Then Sir Grummore rammed his head against the beech in which the wart was sitting, and King Pellinore collided with a chestnut at the other side of the clearing. The trees shook, the forest rang, blackbirds and squirrels cursed, and wood pigeons flew off their leafy perches half a mile away. The two knights stood at attention while you could count 3. Then, with a last unanimous melodious clang, they both fell prostrate on the final sward. "Stunned," said Merlin. "I should think so." "Oh dear," said the ward. "Oughtn't we to get down and help them?" "We could pour water on their heads," said Merlin reflectively, "if there were any water, but I don't suppose they'd thank us for making their armor rusty. They'll be all right. Besides, it's time we were home." "But they might be dead." "They're not dead, I know. In a minute or 2 they'll come round and go off home to dinner." "Poor King Pellinore hasn't got a home." "Then Sir Grummar would invite him to stay the night. They'll be best of friends when they come to. They always are." "Do you think so?" "My dear boy, I know so. Shut your eyes and we'll be off." The wart gave in to Merlin's superior knowledge. "Do you think," he asked with his eyes shut, "that Sir Grummar has a feather bed?" "Probably." "Good," said the wart. That will be nice for King Pellinore, even if he was stunned." The Latin words were spoken, and the secret passes made. The funnel of whistling noise and space received them. In 2 twos they were laying under the grandstand, and the sergeant's voice was calling from the opposite side of the tilting ground. "Now there, Master Art, now then. You've been a snoozing long enough. Come out into the sunlight here with Master K. 1, 2, 1, 2, and see some real tilting." And that is the end of Chapter 7.